Imagine a land where the sky seems to touch the earth, where the silence of the mountains is interrupted only by the prayers that echo in different languages, coming from broken hearts that, even without knowing each other, come together as one family before God. Medjugorje is not just a place of pilgrimage. It is a spiritual portal where countless testimonies of conversion, healing and rediscovery of faith happen daily. It is there that the ordinary bows before the extraordinary. It is there that pain is transformed into consolation, and the existential void is filled with the maternal presence of Our Lady. Whoever sets foot on that blessed soil rarely returns the same. And that is exactly why today you need to listen to this story until the end. If at this moment you feel in your heart the desire to intercede for someone, write now in the comments the name of people who need prayer, because we will include all of these names in the main prayer with the rosary. Medjugorje is more than a destination. It is a calling. A call to introspection, to faith, to surrender before the sacred. There, Our Lady has been appearing since 1981, leaving messages of peace, prayer, fasting, conversion, and faith. But don't think that everything is visions and miracles. The true miracle is seeing a multitude of hardened hearts being touched by something invisible, something greater. I have seen young people who mocked faith fall to their knees in tears. I have seen men and women, previously skeptical, confess years of sins with sincere tears streaming down their faces. All of this happens because Medjugorje is a place where Jesus is found again. A place where people rediscover the meaning of life. And often, as the title of this video says, found in Medjugorje. And no one knew. This is exactly what happens to so many pilgrims. They find their faith, they find Jesus, but they didn't even know they were looking for him. Can you see the power of this metaphor? The found was not a hidden object, nor a secret underground. What was found was the answer that so many seek in the wrong places. Inner peace, forgiveness, hope. While the world runs after status, money, and distractions, in Medjugorje people find the essential. And the most moving thing. Many return saying, "How did I not know about this before?" Yes, many have no idea of the spiritual power of this place. And this serves as a warning to all of us. How many times do we ignore God's signs? How many times do we seek answers in noise, when it was in silence that He wanted to speak? On one of these pilgrimages, an elderly woman told how she was taken to Medjugorje almost by force by her children. She had not prayed for more than 20 years. She lived in bitterness and sorrow. On the second day, sitting alone near Apparition Hill, she felt a warmth in her chest and began to cry. She said she heard an inner voice saying, "You have never stopped being my daughter." That woman left there completely transformed. She returned to her city and re-established ties with people she had cut off decades ago. This is Medjugorje. It is the place where even the most hardened heart is softened by a grace that cannot be explained. It can only be experienced. And there are many testimonies. Doctors who attest to unexplained cures. Broken marriages that were restored after a novena held there. Young people who gave up their addictions after a retreat at the foot of the mountain. Science can try to understand, reason can question, but those who have a true experience with Our Lady of Medjugorje do not need proof. She lives in their hearts as an indisputable certainty. And this, my brother and sister, is not an illusion, it is mercy. It is the promise of heaven being fulfilled here on earth, for those who believe, for those who surrender, for those who seek, even without knowing it. At dusk, the most moving thing is the faces lit up by candles. Hundreds of pilgrims from all over the world walk in deep silence. Some pray quietly, others in their thoughts. There is something deeply mystical about this act, as if each flame represents a soul seeking light. I once saw a young woman holding a candle with trembling hands, saying, "It's for my mother's healing." And next to her, a man prayed for a grandson he had never met. Night falls over Medjugorje, but no darkness can overcome the light of faith. Candles may go out, but what is lit within the heart, no one can ever extinguish. And that is why we need to reflect. Are we looking for Jesus in the right things? Because in Medjugorje, people find him without knowing they were lost. This is the great irony of faith. Only those who stop running and start kneeling find him. Faith cannot be bought, nor can it be learned in a course. It is born from confronting one's own emptiness and from sincere surrender to God. And Our Lady is there, as a mother, interceding, welcoming, forgiving. Whoever goes to Medjugorje does not return the same, because her presence is almost palpable. But is it only there that we can experience this? Or can we also build an inner Medjugorje in our routine, in our sincere prayers, in our acts of forgiveness? Medjugorje is more than a place. It is a living sanctuary where time seems to stand still before eternity. Every stone on that ground seems charged with prayer, every breath of wind carries murmurs of Hail Mary. Whoever steps there with an open heart cannot forget. It is as if Our Lady had left heavenly fingerprints there. Many faithful do not just pray, they venerate that place as consecrated ground, a piece of heaven entrusted to earth. Some kneel upon arriving, unable to even speak. Others weep just at the sight of the mountain where the apparitions took place. It is not idolatry, it is reverence. It is recognizing that God chose that corner of the world to touch lives, renew hope and save souls. And those who feel this understand. Medjugorje is Mary's response to these wounded and accelerated times. A refuge for the spirit. A place where the weary soul finds solace and the hard heart learns, at last, to love again. And the most impressive thing is that this veneration does not arise from grand ceremonies, but from small gestures full of meaning. People leave personal objects on the mountain as symbols of surrender. There are crosses, rosaries, photos of loved ones, letters of forgiveness, vows of silence. Each item placed there is a plea. It is like saying, "Mother, take care of this for me." The veneration in Medjugorje is silent, but powerful. It is as if heaven became more accessible in that territory. The stories are countless. Visions, feelings of peace, inner healings. But above all, what is most venerated there is the presence of the sacred. And this is what the world needs, to rediscover the sacred. To remember that there are places where heaven still speaks to earth. And Medjugorje is one of those places. If you have never been, pray with faith. And if you have been, you know what I am talking about. Our Lady is alive in the soul of those who allow themselves to venerate her with humility. Yes, we can, and we should. The truth is that what is found in Medjugorje is available to all of us. Renewed faith, true love, mercy and reconciliation. But to do this, we need to open ourselves up. We need to pray more often, seek the word, confess, fast, and above all, forgive. In our daily lives, when we stop everything to pray the rosary, when we stop judging someone and listen patiently, when we forgive even when our hearts are wounded, we are doing what Mary asks of us. So, now, write in the comments the names of the people you want to be included in the main prayer of the Rosary. Let us pray together, as one family. And now, with your heart touched by this story, tell me, have you ever experienced something like this? Have you ever felt this presence that cannot be explained? Share your testimony, your doubts, or even your desire to visit Medjugorje in the comments. Take the opportunity to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. We need to spread these messages of faith, because someone on the other side may be lost, and it may be you who will help them to be found in Medjugorje.